What's up, my brothers and my sisters from another mister? So today we're going to do a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 20. This is Spawn and Houdini's fight for survival. Brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. We begin this issue exactly where we left off in the last issue. Spawn and Houdini, well, Spawn looking like a chauffeur on the way to the magic show. And Spawn is wondering how the heck is Houdini making this car defy gravity? And Houdini's like, defy gravity? Nonsense. I've simply convinced gravity that the car is lighter than the air. Remember in the last issue when Houdini told Spawn, magic is simply telling the universe the biggest lie, so convincing that the universe believes in it? Well, that's pretty much it, sums it up. And Spawn is like, this doesn't seem natural to me. Well, Houdini's like, that's why I'm teaching you. But meanwhile, Spawn sees that punk, that bomber from the last issue, and he wants in on that butt. So late night, the silence of Manhattan's little Ukraine is cut by the roar of the bomber speeding car. Unknown to him, a demon and his newfound mentor are in silent pursuit. So he gets home and this bomber just gets out the car like, yo man, that was the best explosion I did. I gotta see if I made the cut on the news. And Spawn looks at him going into his apartment like he's working for someone, the mob or somebody. And Houdini's like, who cares? We can get him later. I got 2 invites to the Magician's Club for some after hours fun. One of their boys has a trunk of mine I like to look into, so you coming? And Spawn's like, nah, bruh, I'm sticking to this kid like glue. Something will churn up. And Houdini's like, okay, bro, suit yourself, no problem. So time passes slowly, but when he was alive and a soldier, Al Simmons was used to waiting. And while he was waiting on more info about the bomber, he thought about this memory being in Monterey, California language school along with Terry, and the only way he can remember how he got through was because he met his best friend Terry, because he copied papers off for him to read. Actually, Terry is his best friend. So down below, Spawn hears Terry's voice talking to the Russians, and he asks the Russians to come inside so we can talk because he has some questions to ask them. And the Russians like, of course, it's warmer inside, come on in, and your accent needs practicing, you little spy, let us teach you. And they go to work on Terry, and Spawn has to come in and save his best friend's life. Leave him alone, Spawn says, that's my friend. Chains go off, the guns go blazing, Spawn takes all the bullets on behalf of Terry, saving his life. And Spawn just continues going to work, and he's so enraged and so pissed. If it will hurt you more, I'd kill you. So now that the damage has been done, he takes Terry out the building. So when Spawn reads Terry's files, Spawn notices what? Yosef Volokov? He's here? I almost bagged him years ago, and that was back in the previous issue when it was clearly established that, hey, Spawn was supposed to annihilate him. He was supposed to assassinate him. It says here that he's here for some weapons conference and went AWOL, but oh my gosh, dude, okay. And now I see this Volokov in front of the punk's building, in front of this bomber's building. That's where Spawn brings Terry back into. Alright, cool, I'm not gonna go easy on the guy. So he tells Terry go easy, lean on the car, it's all good. And Spawn realizes so Volokov and his bomber and whatever this thing is going on, he has some unfinished business to execute. So Terry wakes up like, oh, yo man, what happened? And Spawn's like, well, you know what, brother, you might be more careful with people around here, And Spawn does not let Terry know who he really is. He can't let him know that he's Al Simmons. And Terry tells him, thanks for pulling my ass out the skillet or something like that, Spawn lets his motivations be known to us. He doesn't want Wanda to become a widow again. So Terry calls for backup because whatever this intel was, it's inaccurate, and he wants some muscle to get things straight. So in the apartment, Volokov tells his friend that he's due to give a lecture in a couple hours, and a key electrical element was damaged on his journey in his briefcase. And this guy tells him, don't worry, my neighbor's son works for electronics firm. He's really good and really skilled. He can get that fixed for you. And Spawn outside the window hearing in is like, atomic weapons? I knew there was more here than what meets eye. I don't know who this kid's working for, but this must be big. Terry called in some goons for that, and he sure did. So meanwhile, Terry and his goons and his muscle come in and they start investigating, and Terry is like, you know what? Forget them. After all this is going on, we have to get to Colombia ASAP. So Houdini pulls up and tells Spawn, you missed a good show, man, but nothing like the one we're going to. Hop on in. And Spawn's like, nah, we have to get to Columbia University. Something dangerous is going on. And Houdini's like, you peeked at these, didn't you? You peeked at these tickets. These tickets I got from that kid's wallet. I knew it. The kid works for the commies. So they go to the Columbia University, day 3 of the conference. Terry and his goons try to go in, but this guy is like, nah, man, you're here for the demonstration of the atomic detonator? I'm charging you $6 a head. And Terry's like, wait a minute, what does he mean, demonstration of an atomic detonator? And fuck your $6, I'm going in, man. So Volokov meets the detonator. His name is Portia, and he asks Portia if he can fix the problem. And Portia's like, man, I can fix anything, bro. I'm good to go. So Volokov is like, okay, well, hurry, because I got a speech coming up shortly, and I need your help. So back at Columbia University, halfway across town, and less than an hour later, it's a surprisingly large turnout for the dry topic at hand, you know, which is atomic bomb detonation, and people won't be disappointed. So the audience grows quiet as Yosef Volokov, a pioneer of the former Soviet Union's atomic program, walks to the podium. This is his proudest moment, but there is another reason for Yosef to be here. His objective is not recognition. His objective is the well-being of his country. The Ukraine is his sole concern. And the moment is at hand. Members of the audience smile in recognition, and there's no mistaking the chromium steel object for anything but what it is, an atomic bomb, a briefcase. He also withdraws a shielded container. It is enough plutonium for a bomb which could level a good-sized city the size of New York. So Yosef speaks. Ladies and gentlemen, rather than my lecture, I will now present my demands. My Ukraine has languished in poverty while her cousin Russia has gained all the attention of the world. You and your government shall loan my Ukraine $1.5 billion or I shall destroy New York City. Terry and his goons get the guns out, blazes out, and they're ready to go to work on this guy. Guns with Kami, says Spawn. Oh, and a sorcerer with the bigger gun, says Houdini, and he's trigger happy. They're all ready to pull the trigger. So meanwhile, the overlappers have come before Prime, by far the oldest of the creatures dwelling here, and linked directly into the living realm himself. All data gathered from 1 billion universes is fed directly through this guy, so that the overlap may be nourished and thrive, and it has been going like that forever. So the other overlappers tell Prime, we will soon learn if it is possible to destroy a hell creature with the atomic bomb. Our experiment will provide us with much needed data on the physical extremes of the creature and of this Earthian as well. And as far as Houdini goes, well, you know, we've cut off the particle splitting device, and with that we've also condemned Houdini to his end. And Prime is like, very good. I am certain you will have fresh knowledge to feed us. However, this Houdini is your own affair, alright? So back on Earth, Yosef tells everyone to remain calm. Your guns will not stop us. I'm gonna pull the trigger if I don't get my money, alright? So always the performer, Houdini starts the show with a shot fired into there, which gets everyone riled up and bricked up. That was stupid. Anyways, that was weird. So anyways, these nerves step and all these shots get fired, and Spawn has to jump in front of Terry again and save his life because he takes all the bullets for him. The exits are few and far between, and chaos ensues. And Yosef is like, you fools, you idiots. I'm gonna start the timer now. He starts the timer and the clock goes down. Houdini realizes down at 15 seconds, everyone has to run for their lives, and Houdini's like, okay, I've done my part. That's my cue to check up out of here. So when he realizes those schmucks shut him out, and it's time that he paid them a piece of his mind, he concentrates. It's just another trap. He mentalizes everything. He got to set up his pathway. He visualizes it, and all these overlap bros are like, this is our moment to think we feared Houdini? Ha! Oh no, Houdini focused, and he transmits the blast, and he takes all the atoms like candy glass containing the bomb. He sends all that bomb explosion into this fragments. He contains it and puts it in his trunk. Spawn carries on, unaware of the package and behind him, and venting his rage on Terry's attackers. So Houdini compresses that beam of power, that beam of explosion, into his trunk, and he sends that tight particle stream where it will do the most good. We will find out later. So Spawn at Columbia University realizes, damn, Houdini is fried. I had so much to learn from the guy. I mean, that's if he was really Houdini, you know, and that leaves Spawn in confusion. So news coverage breaks out, several arrests have been made, all these Russians go to jail, and the bomber too. But witnesses claim that there was an explosion, and even though they don't know what happened to the explosion, because to them it appeared like in a flash of a light, rumor has it that Spawn, but they call that guy the Chris Man, was there. And there's no proof of that, but that's just alleged news, but we know the real. So elsewhere on the Columbia campus, Spawn goes up there and he wants to go find Houdini's invincible car. So as Spawn's test, he just concentrates, uses the caustic to rearrange the photons to make the car appear. And when the car reappears, Spawn's like, good, yeah, I passed the test. Houdini says, I learned a trick or two, but he realizes he needs the keys. So he'll just manifest them himself, but by creating the keys, Spawn passed Houdini's test. The car's purpose is fulfilled. It defaults back to the overlap. So Spawn now realizes how he can use magic and manipulate photons and atoms. Now back in the Bowery, life has returned to normal in the hours after the lecture. The police, left with no evidence of crime, have dropped all charges against Portia. And Portia gets home and he's hungry. He should have stopped at his mom's place and got some food, but that's okay. So this explosion happens, but it was just like a phantom explosion. It was loud, the blast was harmless. Confetti falls carrying paper rain with a note in it. Don't ever mess with me or my alley again, or the next one takes you out and the whole building with it. So now we're back at the overlap, and that's where the atomic decimation took place. So Houdini transported the explosion from the Columbia University into the overlap inside his trunk. The experiment has blown up in their faces. In the distance, unexpected guests began to rein in their equilibrium, and it's these Russian mobs. And they're wondering, like, what the hell are we? Are we in hell? How long are we here to stay? Is this the afterlife? Not at all, Earthian scum. Now that your energy has been dampened, you have much to answer for, and even more to clean. It will be interesting to see how your kind will fare against a radiation burns. Little humans, we have forever to learn. Get the cleaning. And that's all they can do is get the cleaning, alright? So back in 1916 on the stage in Los Angeles, Houdini performs his act. No normal human being could have survived this long, 5 minutes without air. And Houdini emerges and mystifies them when he shows, like, yeah, I survived, no problem. But his assistants are like, okay, where's his cape? And Houdini just tells him, thank you, you guys are too kind. So Houdini thinks in his head, perhaps I can use that diverted explosion gimmick into my next show. And luckily for him, he'll save that encore for another day. And that's where we end this issue, this review of Spawn, issue number 20. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other comic books or Rated Comics exclusives to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. Lastly, this review is sponsored by coffee because I do these reviews early in the morning before I take my kids to school. So if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description or donate to the Super Thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys could do is by liking this video and subscribing to Rated Comics YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.